Hello, and welcome to the sixth edition of the Snowflake Sports Podcast. Your host is Dan. I just wanted to kind of come on and do a little quick podcast. Pretty impromptu. I didn't really do much research since I'm recording this on Thursday around 7:42 on May 9th, and I just kind of wanted to get this out there so I could watch the Raptors game. Hopefully, they can pull this game out before I go and leave for Scandinavia. So I just wanted to because there's a lot of things going on right now, and I definitely wanted to see what was going on. Yeah, so I'm gonna go backwards from yesterday. So I'm gonna talk first. I'm gonna talk about the Bucks Celtics game, which was amazing if you were a Bucks fan, and Celtics if you were, or terrible if you were a Celtics fan. Um, the Celtics, they really didn't come out at all with any tenacity. Kyrie Irving looked trash, like he just looked like garbage. I forget. I think he went like 6 of 22, or just another awful, pouring shooting night. The Celtics together shot like 26% in the first half, and I don't think they really improved it. And like Kyrie sat the bench for like the last 8 minutes. Like this game was over by like the middle of the third quarter. So they didn't really do much. Celtics won. They pulled out. Bucks in five. The Fisser Forum, however you say it. They were pretty fun. They were chanting the Bucks in five, Bucks in five. Like it was a good. It was a good win for them. They made their first conference semifinal since I think 2001 or something like that. So props out to them. They're just extremely deep. Uh, like I don't think Giannis was playing that well, but like Mirotic was doing good. George Hill has really stepped up this entire series. Pat Connaughton, like I mean their big three is right. Giannis, Eric Bledsoe, and Chris Middleton, and then like Mirotic is definitely like right there. And then Brook Lopez, and that's basically your starting five. Then you got Pat Connaughton, you got George Hill. Um, like I keep forgetting who else comes off their bench because like Tony Snell isn't really that good. Um, I know I'm forgetting some, but they're just extremely deep. And they could play. Oh, Malcolm Brogdon, yeah, he came back. Like he came back this game and he played extremely well. Um, very important factor for the Bucks. And he looked good. He was drilling threes. Like he's also one of those guys where when Eric Bledsoe goes on those games where he doesn't play well, that's where Brogdon comes in and just is absolutely clutch. Like also Brogdon was 50, 40, 90 this year, which is crazy since like only 9 players in the NBA have ever done that or something. He's one of them. Um, but I just kind of want to dive more into the Celtics and what they're gonna try to do this offseason. Honestly, this entire game they looked like in just like bad, like not a lot of effort. They didn't really go for any like loose balls or anything. The only one that really looked good was Jaylen Brown. He looked like he was trying hard, and like once they benched them all, like he was the only one that looked like really mad for the most part. Like everyone just kind of looked sad, but he looked like frustrated, like straight up frustrated. Um, and so I don't know what they're gonna do because they have like 3 picks. So they have the Clippers pick, they have the Kings pick unless it's number one, which is not going to be because it's like the lowest odds. They have their pick, and I think they might get Memphis's pick if Memphis it's top 8 protected this year. Um, and if you're a Celtics fan too, you would want uh, the Grizzlies to keep their pick this year because then it just gets worse and worse, and they're not really in any shape to do anything. Like they got Mike Conley, and that's about it. Like maybe you got Avery Bradley. I mean, I guess you do have the core, the good bench mob from the Raptors and DeLon Wright and Valanciunas. But I don't know. They didn't look. They were kind of on and off. So okay. That. So they could potentially have 4 picks in this draft alone. Like 4 first round picks. This isn't even like I think they just have their own second round, but they might have a couple of things. So they need to like make a move just because they have way too many assets, and like it just sounds like the AD going to the Lakers is just not going to be a thing anymore. Um, they could possibly go to the Clippers. Like I think I've said this before. When they traded away Tobias Harris, they got that Miami unprotected 2021 pick, which was really good. That's like a Brooklyn Nets pick from like 2016, 2014 that the Celtics kept getting. Um, like that's a really good bargaining chip. Anyway, so if they even if they don't get Anthony Davis and say Kyrie walks and like they can't get Anthony Davis, they need to make some trade because like even if Kyrie goes, say they re-sign Horford. I think there's some other people that they could re-sign, but they just have way too like the problem with them is they have way too many people and not enough time to play them. So like they like Terry Rozier is a good backup, and especially with this whole Kyrie thing, like he can serve as a starting point guard when his role comes. He didn't really have a good year this year, but I think if he actually played into a role, he would prosper more. But they need to do something. Like you can't just add 4 first round picks to this team, and then you're gonna end up cutting like like you're like 13, 14 guys are gonna be like Hachimura or something. Like they're just gonna sit there. Like you just need to create a package. And I don't really know who else they would go for outside of Anthony Davis. Like like that the Timberwolves aren't going to trade Towns, not at all. Yeah, like maybe Bradley Beal or something from the Wizards. I don't know. They just gotta. I really think they just need to swing for the fences, get AD, like throw everything at that. Um, and if I'm the Pelicans, I think I would want what the Celtics have to offer because it just sounds like they want a ton of picks, and the Celtics have that. And then just like young players, like they could throw in Tatum or Brown. If Kyrie stays, which is probably the only reason, like Kyrie's gonna need to stay for the Celtics to swing this AD deal, because AD is probably not gonna resign for the Celtics if they don't have Kyrie Irving. Like, come on. So I forgot where I was going with this, uh, but yeah, so like the Celtics have a ton of picks, and I think that's what the Pelicans kind of want. Um, like a Clippers deal could look good, so you could throw in like their 2 rookies, SGA and Shamit, for that unprotected Miami pick, and maybe like Harrell, and maybe another pick. I don't really know. If the I want to say the Knicks. Um, the Knicks are interesting though, because like they could like AD could stay there if KD goes there, if Kyrie goes there, and then but like they would have to get the Zion. They would have to get the #1 pick, and then also like who else are they gonna trade? Like Dennis Smith Jr. I don't think so. So they're probably out of the picture. The other interesting, like maybe the Sixers. Like so the Sixers go down tonight. And especially if Ben Simmons doesn't do anything offensively, Joel Embiid has a bad game. Like Jimmy Butler's going to be the only one that carries them. If it's one of those like bad Sixers games, they might start fielding offers for Ben Simmons. And like that, you're gonna get your best return out of that if you're a Pelican. If you're on the Pelicans, like you can already he's an all-star. He started in the all-star game this year. If he has more space, I think that'll really help his chances. Prosper as a better player. He has no jump shot, and it doesn't seem like he has good work ethic to like improve his jump shot. But I think if you just kind of let him go and just kind of be like a Giannis kind of figure where you just like almost do an ISO and just let him spin, like surround him with shooters or something like that, that could really work. But if you, but like that, never mind. Let me backtrack that because, like, why would the Sixers want Anthony Davis? Like, I mean, I guess you could put him at power forward. Like, say Tobias Harris goes, that could work. That could really work actually. So Embiid, AD. Then you got Jimmy Butler, and then JJ Redick and TJ McConnell or something. Like I don't know. I don't even know who would play point guard at that point. Maybe they draft a point guard or something. If they have a pick, they might even have a first round pick. No, that's just so it's like those three teams. I think Lakers. It just doesn't seem like they're in. First off, their like organization is burning to the ground as we speak right now. So Rob Pelinka is not going to be a good. It sounds like he's the basketball of operations. But I'm going to go into that later. So and then okay, so last night the Golden State Warriors pulled out a victory, a very crucial victory, against the Rockets, Game 5 at Oracle Arena. Um, and KD went down with a strained calf injury. So people were thinking that it was worse, that it was like he tore his Achilles and it would take like a really long recovery to have. Um, and they had an MRI today, and it came out just as a strained calf, which is great. Like you don't want to see anyone go down the playoffs that late, especially someone who's been obviously playing the best basketball of these playoffs. And so he was ruled out of Game 6 even before they did the MRI, but now he's ruled out of Game 7. I think they could say he can come back in a week, maybe. Even like a strained calf, I feel like maybe like 2 weeks off. Especially if they're, I don't know, whoever they play next is probably gonna be easier than the Rockets. I would assume like Houston is made to play Golden State. Um, but like Houston, where are you at? Like Kevin Durant goes down and you still lose. Like you guys were down by one or some. You were down by one, and when KD goes down, like this is when you put on the gas pedal. This is where you steal the series. You steal that game, then you go home. You win that game, Game 6. Like I don't know. This is your even so, even now, this is their best opportunity to beat this team. But shout out to Golden State though. Like Steph Curry played a great game once Kevin Durant went off the floor. Klay Thompson played great. Like Draymond hit like a really crucial three, and he was going at it. Like he was screaming the whole time. He was feeling it. Um, I don't know. I like enjoy this team like a lot, even with KD and like it's like this super team. They're just so much fun to watch. And you just gotta enjoy kind of the moment. Like KD's most likely gonna leave Golden State, and this is one of the best assembled teams. And they're really the only like I didn't like. I mean, they kind of cheated by just getting like a top two player already with like 3 All-Stars. And then you add DeMarcus Cousins too, but like, is it their fault that they have such a good system and like a good organization? Like, I don't think so. Um, and like when Kevin Durant signed, like that was the only free agent. Like they didn't do the Celtics first team when they get Ray Allen, they get Kevin Garnett, and then it's like, oh yeah, look at us, like we're amazing now. And then like Miami, they get Chris Bosh, they get LeBron James. Like this is just like a different super team. I feel like. Um, And I don't know, it's just witnessing history. Like, people are going to remember this team as one of the greatest of all times. They're going to argue, the Bulls team was that the best. Like the 60s Celtics, the 80s Lakers. Like, it's great. But, I mean, it kind of, like, this series from now out is going to vindicate if Golden State really needs to make a big move in this offseason, if they lose KD, like if Steph is playing out of his mind, and Klay Thompson is doing his thing, like they could win this series, they could make the finals. Like, so what if they lose to, or then Kevin Durant, can come back. I'd assume by the finals and they win again. They're still a top team, like they're still a top 3 team without Kevin Durant at least. Probably even top 2 is probably them in Houston. I mean, like Portland's on the rise ish, and Denver's like young. And Denver could, what are you getting? Like Denver could totally meet, or finish the series this game, this tonight. So I mean, without Kevin Durant, it's gonna be still hard to beat Golden State. Like Houston, you gotta turn on the Jets. Like Eric Gordon's playing great. like Chris Paul, you need to drive to the hoop more. You gotta stop settling for threes. Also, okay, yeah. So I think I don't know if it was the fourth quarter or like it was like the last 8 minutes of the fourth quarter. Like I was just checking social media and I think James Harden attempted one shot in the last 8 minutes. Like one shot. Like this guy averaged 36 points in this season, and you attempt one shot when in a crucial game 5 when it's close. Like you're supposed to be the man. And I mean, I guess they kept it close, and maybe it worked better that he wasn't just isolating or something. Um, but I don't know. You gotta shoot more than one shot. Like if you're the guy, and you're like this is James Harden. Like you put up a ton of shots and you make a lot of them. That's when you carry. But in general, like this is going to be the one time that the Rockets will have to beat Golden State. I mean, they can maybe wait it out a year. I mean, they're going to want to win this year. Um, and it just kind of sucks though, because even if they win, it'll just be like, oh, it didn't beat like with Kevin Durant, you know. So I'm kind of rooting for Golden State to win this one. Um, I just like their style of play more. I don't like the isolation shit that the Rockets do. Golden State just like passes the ball better, and like, um, and I don't know, they just shoot. And they're just way well. I guess the Rockets shoot too, so that's kind of stupid. But I just feel like the ball movement's a lot better there. They do a lot of backdoor cuts too. They do turn over the ball a lot, but that's been their thing for the past like 5 years. Um, so yeah, I think their game is tomorrow, I believe. Um, so crucial game 6s coming up, especially tonight and tomorrow. But yeah, so now going back to Tuesday's games. Let's start with the Raptors. Yeah, we the North. Let's go. Like that's the team. The rest of the Raptors finally showed up, and like Kyle Lowry started off really strong. They just completely demoralized the Sixers. There was a funny article on SB Nation where it was like the Raptors just beat the 36ers because they beat them by 36. Like, geez Louise, come on, guys. Like, so supposedly Joel Embiid had some flu thing still, like whatever's going on, and supposedly like the entire team is sick, which I could believe. Like, if you're playing basketball and you're around them, you're sweating, and like you're probably gonna catch something, and especially if you're in the locker room, and then you go to the film room, like you're just not gonna go well. Which kind of scares me though. So like, say the Raptors win and then they go play the Bucks, and then like Kawhi has the flu, and like like Kawhi was sick in Game 3 and like really affected him. Um, so I kind of don't like everyone just being like, oh Joel, like Shaq was just like, oh Joel Embiid, you gotta like, suck it up, you gotta be a man. Like he's got like, the shits, like the flu. He's a fragile body just to begin with. Um, so like you should be killing Ben Simmons. Like if Joel Embiid isn't playing that well, he should space the floor and just like jack threes or something, and then just let Ben Simmons operate. Um, but Ben Simmons kind of just like disappears. He doesn't seem like he's engaged offensively. Like he's doing great defensively on Kawhi. Like that's a great position, but you got to be more than just a defensive player. Especially if you're gonna try to beat the Raptors. But Jimmy Butler played great though for the Sixers. Like he's consistently played well. Like he always gets like 20 points or something. And Tobias Harris played decently well, and it was kind of interesting. I think the announcers, or I was listening to the TSN one, which is the Raptors local, like Toronto's local station. And they're kind of saying Tobias Harris plays actually better away, like has less pressure, than when he plays like in Philadelphia. Like that game 4. He like I was hoping that he would keep shooting because he kept missing. Like he was like 2 for 12 from 3 or something. Like I think he shot the most shots. Like he's terribly inefficient. So he hasn't really had great playoffs. Like some games he plays well, but I mean Joel Embiid didn't look great, but he's kind of sick. And it was really so like he went out I think in the middle of the fourth. And like and he's like walking by Drake, and Drake does the whole airplane thing, like his celebration, and then basically the whole arena started doing it too. It was so funny. Um, but like I was, and then I started thinking like, okay, this is great and all, but he like Joel, you're just giving him more fuel. He's gonna fire up. He's gonna come out on all cylinders, especially if he's feeling better. Like he's gonna be rocking in the home crowd. Like he's gonna go off. He's gonna score like 30, get 15 rebounds, like have like a Giannis game. Um, that's not really good if you're the Raptors. Uh, I would, I just don't want to see a great Embiid game. like yeah, just stay there, play, score like 12 points, get 8 rebounds. Ben Simmons has like a 8-6-4 game. Like that's what I want. I want the Raptors to destroy them. But so and then the whole Raptors team, like Kyle Lowry had a great game. Like P Skills had a good game. Kawhi Leonard had like a normal game, like not a robotic. Like I'm gonna score 39 points on 22 shots and make 13 of them. Like he played like a human being. Like he wasn't playing like MJ. Um, Gasol played well. He started shooting from the three. Started draining those. Danny Green played well. Serge Ibaka came out. Fred Van Fleet, he only scored 5 points, but he seemed like he did way more than that. Um, and yeah, this game was also just like the Celtics Bucks game. This game was done by the third quarter or so. Um, and personally, I'm hoping that the Raptors just win this game because uh, I think they have Game 7. It would be the Saturday or Sunday, and I'm going to be in like Copenhagen then, and it'll be like on at 3 in the morning, and I don't want to, be traveling and sightseeing and stuff, and then have to wake up at 3 to watch that game because I'm gonna watch that game. Like this is potentially the last significant playoff push that the Raptors may have if they don't sign Kawhi. Um, so I'm gonna want to watch that game. I don't really know what to think. I would think that the Sixers could pull this off. Because it just seems like so. Last week I was just basically saying that the Raptors are screwed. The Sixers' length is too much for them. They should bench. They should not play Van Fleet. He's too small. No, I was really down on Kyle Lowry. And then, like, of course, like they play well and they win the next 2 games, and now they can finish the series. But I mean, I still think the Sixers' length is good. Like Jimmy's going to be consistent. Joel Embiid, like with the home crowd, I think he's going to be more tougher than what he did in Game 5. So I could see them winning, especially like Philadelphia's home crowd is insane. Like they're gonna be juiced off that. And oh yeah, going to the Nuggets Blazers game. Like so I barely wrote, like normally when I do these I like write a bunch of notes and I have a bunch of things to say and like I have stats. But this week I was just kind of busy with packing and everything, and so I just wrote the 5 lines that I wanted. And this is the fourth one. I just wrote Nuggets won. Like pretty sure Jokic got another triple double. I think Jamal Murray did really well too. But like that, like I should be paying attention to the series way more because it's way more fun. Like that 4 overtime game was awesome. It was unbelievable. Um, but I think the Nuggets won. Yeah, the Nuggets won by a lot in this one. Like they poured it on the second and third quarter, and it was pretty much over. Like I think they maybe won by 30 or something. Um, but Denver's just a really they're like a little bit like the Bucks. They just don't have like their second and third guys are just not nearly as good as the Bucks second and third guys. But you got right. So you got Jokic, you got Jamal Murray. You got Gary Harris, I think starts. Torrey Craig, that was like Mike Malone. That was great putting him in the starting lineup because Jamal Murray, you got to hide really as a defender. Um, and you can have Torrey Craig and Gary Harris guard whatever wings or um, guards that they would have to defend, and they're just doing a super job. So like, claps off to you, Mike Malone. Okay, so you got Jokic at center, you got Torrey Craig as the 3 probably, you got Gary Harris at 2, Jamal Murray at 1. And then Paul Millsap at 4, and then you have Monte Morris coming off the bench as probably the best backup point guard in the league. Malik Beasley. Got Mason Plumlee subbing in for Jokic. Uh, I think. Oh, I haven't said Will Barton yet. Like this is an extremely deep team. Will Barton like jacked up some nice threes. I think this game, maybe the game before, where like the two games, like Will Barton's like actually playing well now. And Will Barton was the person that they took out of the starting lineup for Torrey Craig. Um, but the Blazers, they're kind of getting burnt. Like Damian Lillard's not playing as great as he normally does. Like CJ's been awesome. And he's been really lifting them up. But um, like Damian Lillard needs to go off. Like he needs to score like 40. He needs to torch them. He needs to pull up these threes. They need to pick and roll with and his cancer to get going. Like Jokic isn't that good a defender, so they need to utilize that. Uh, Rodney Hood was coming up big too. Like he was really good contributions. It just seems weird. I know they're playing like Zach Collins a decent amount. I just want to see them play more. Like I know Myers Leonard is bigger and he's probably a better defender, but I just think offensively he's so inept. And he's getting paid way too much money to basically do nothing on that team. So I want more Zach Collins. I want more. I kind of want to see Jake Layman. Like I don't. Like I think this is. I mean, you probably go 8. So I guess just to go through theirs. So they got their starting lineup is Dame, CJ, then Aminu, Harkless, Cantor now with Nurkic out. Then off the bench, that's when you get Rodney Hood. You get Seth Curry. Seth Curry's been actually pretty good, and Zach Collins. So those 3, and I guess in the playoffs, you probably just want to play 8. I just felt like Jake Layman should get more time. And this like going back to the Sixers, I think T.J. McConnell should get like more playing minutes. Like I understand he's small, but like the Raptors aren't that big, and like they play a lot of Lowry, they play a lot of Van Vliet. Like he could he could be in this series, and I think he passes well. He finds his teammates. Like he shoots pretty well. I mean, his defense is kind of but like I don't know. Anyway, so going back to the Blazers, like I'd want to see more Jake Layman because I think he can drill a 3. He's probably a better defender than Seth Curry, and like he played during the season, so I don't really understand why he gets no minutes. But I'm gonna stay up and watch this game because it'll be at the Motor Center, and I only have to work like 3 hours tomorrow, and I can just sleep wherever I can, either on the bus or flying out or something. So yeah, go Blazers. I think they'll win this one. The Nuggets are just kind of young, and for them to close out a game on the road, that just seems hard. And like Damian's just due for one. And then what was crazy yesterday was that no one was really talking about the playoffs for a decent amount because Ty Lue was not pursuing the Lakers job anymore. And the story was just kind of wild. So like so I think it was his birthday yesterday or the day before, and he had like a Lakers cake. I didn't see the cake, I just saw the headline. Supposedly had a Lakers cake, so it just seemed like he was celebrating becoming the Lakers coach. But then he backed out of it. And it's just like things are coming out. So they wanted Jason Kidd to be as the lead assistant, when clearly like if they fired Ty Lue, they would just put Jason Kidd on the team. So I understand why Ty Lue would not want that. And he wanted a 5-year deal versus a 3-year deal. And I guess reading more up on the articles, just like the news today, I guess that's pretty typical for a coach to do that. Like Ty Lue did that, I guess, with the Cavs. And so he started like earlier this year. He started off 0-6 and they fired him. But like you still have to pay that money. So he got paid this year. He's gonna get paid I think the next 2 years for $10 million. So, but he doesn't get paid that money if another team offers him a head coaching job. So he needs to. So they offered him 18 million for 3 years. So like that's only 6 million a year, and he's already making 5 a year by doing nothing. So why would he? Like you're gonna have to give him more money to do that, and it seems like a mess. And he took that defense as offense, says that he's just gonna be LeBron's coach, which is like, sorry Ty Lue, that's totally true. Like this is the only reason why you're there. You're not gonna get another offer from anywhere else like that. Like you need to understand that. like like the Cavs didn't want you for, like they had you for 6 games and they just got rid of you. Um, so you, yeah. So I don't know what they do now. I know they have Frank Vogel. They have a bunch of people I've never heard of. Also another, I guess, wrinkle in it. So announce, they didn't offer the job to Ty Lue until after Monty Williams got signed by the Suns, so that they made it look like LeBron had less power or something. Like it's just a mess. Like Jeanie Buss, sell a team. Like you and James Dolan need to just like make a blues team or a blues group. Just sing your heart out in New York. Fly back to LA. Like it would be a good gig. You could do it. Because you're fucking this up real bad. Like Pelinka should not be the president of basketball operations. This is stupid. Like he's been a GM for like 2 years and hasn't done a good job of it. You can blame Magic Johnson, but he's also there too. So yeah, honestly, so like Frank Vogel would not be that bad of a coach. Like they were terrible defensively this year, and he's a pretty good defensive coach. I would not think that's that bad of a deal. But so I totally understand Ty Lue not wanting to go, and like you got to pay me more than an extra $1 million if I'm a championship coach, even though like championship in italics or quotes, just because like you weren't really the coach. LeBron was the coach. Like you were basically a stepping stool. But like I understand why he doesn't want to take it. Like I'd rather do nothing and make 5 million than deal with the hellstorm that is the LA Lakers at this point. So, but yeah, that's about it. The coming up, so I'm probably not gonna do one until next Monday because I'll be traveling. Um, but at that time, second round's gonna finish up. The conference finals should be pretty underway. It should probably be around like game 3, game 4 or something. So, um, I, yeah. I guess my predictions. Well, I guess the Bucks are already there. So I'm gonna say Bucks Raptors. I say Raptors close it out either today or Saturday, whenever would play Game 7. Then I think Golden State's gonna win. Like I think Houston's good. They're not as good as they were last year, and I think Steph can really carry this team without Kevin Durant. You're kind of gonna see like how good Steph Curry is without Kevin. So Kevin Durant, and I don't want to go because this is just like that's basically just chalk. So I'm gonna go Portland beats the Nuggets. They just have more playoff experience. I think they have the best player. It's so iffy because Jokic is so good. Got like 5 triple doubles this postseason or something ridiculous. But I'm still gonna go with Portland. I think they could do the job. Right. Well, thank you for listening to the Snowflake Sports Podcast, and talk to you next week.